Strength through will is how we can reverse the perversion of values that have been instilled in you, in me, and all our brethren, insidiously through generations of ancestral oppression. Though it stood with as much superhuman endurance as anyone could, it left a deep impression. Invisible scars that have caused us to devolve into a state of unconsciousness so malignant, we've nearly forgotten we're not a problem to be solved. We always been the solution they seek to dissolve, with the illusion of ties that bind us to a system that blinds, of most vicious design, which is to free no man. Only together, through sharing of wisdom, can we heal the wounds of division, forever sealing that evil incision, and finally deprogram.
Welcome to the Deprogram Show. I'm your host, RMJR. We got a legendary man in the building, one half of Alcor Entertainment. We're going to give y'all a rundown of his many accomplishments as well as his many endeavors. We got the one, the only, Mr. Alvin Williams. What's going on, my brother?
What's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Man, I can't call it, man. So I know you got a very interesting journey. So we going to take it back to, what you say, 88 with the... So I got wind that you was in a group called the Happy Clowns.
Yeah, I'm a product of that family tree, that Darryl Willer family tree. I was one of the original members of the Happy Clowns, which turned into the New Beginning. So, you know, my story with them and, you know, entertainment goes all the way back to 1988.
So give us the original members of the Happy Clowns.
Well, when I joined the group, it was me, it was Charles Yarborough, Anthony Bird, Reginald McKibbins, and that was, you know, the original lineup. So yeah.
So it was you, Charles Yarborough, aka Chocolate or Chalk, Reginald McKibbins, aka Red, better known as Blue.
Right.
And Anthony Bird, aka Bird.
Yeah, we were the Happy Clowns. That's the original lineup. It was a couple of guys that Darryl started out with, but you know, they was running behind a damn cool-out truck and on-part projects. It wasn't the performing group yet, you know what I'm saying? But when Darryl put us together, then that's when it became the performing group, where we were going around the local schools doing shows, you know, trying to spread messages about people saying no to drugs. Because you got to keep in mind, back in the late 80s, you know, that was the crack era. You know what I'm saying? So everybody had a mama or a daddy or somebody that was smoking that, you know. So Darryl put us together, and, you know, we went around to the schools and stuff and did shows and try to keep kids off drugs, stuff like that.
So was Usher in the group originally when you was in the group?
Nah. See that? Now that's funny right there, because you know, like we was talking earlier about, you know, the time that I was in the group. So what happened was, the reason why I left the group is because I got caught with a gun in school in the 8th grade at Alton Park Middle School, and I had to leave the group because I had to go to juvenile and do time behind that. So when I got out of juvenile, I called Darryl up, which Darryl is the manager. And I was begging to get back in the group, and Darryl was like, "Man, I can't do that yet, Alvin. Make sure you stay out of trouble. But what I will do is let you tag along with the group as the hype man." So I'm like, okay. And he said, "You know, you stay out of trouble, I'm gonna put you back in the group." So I'm like, cool. So I'm with the fellas doing shows with them. And one day we did a show at Brainerd High School. Brainerd High School used to have this big talent show every year back in the early 90s. And the New Beginning was the special guest at that talent show. So we go up there, we do the show or whatever. Big Time, which is Usher, he do the show, and he won. We wasn't no contestants, we was the special guest. He was a contestant in the talent show, and he won. So Janetta came backstage after the show and asked Darryl, could Big Time get in the group with us. And, you know, Darryl let him hang around for a minute. And after a while, Darryl decided to go ahead and put him in the group, you know what I'm saying? So that's how that happened, yeah.
So hold up. So this might be an exclusive. I don't think I've never heard So Usher original performance name was Big Time.
No, that's just a nickname that he you know, his family and friends called him around Chattanooga.
So his nickname was Big Time.
Yeah, that's his nickname. You know, family and friends call him that. But yeah, we just say Usher for interview purposes because people may not be familiar with his, you know, local nickname or whatever.
Okay. He lived up to his nickname. We'll say that.
Oh, no doubt, man, no doubt. You know, I shouldn't even be telling this story, man, but I'll tell it anyway. So we used to practice at Delwood Middle School. After school let out, we'll go to the auditorium and the New Beginning being there practicing and stuff. And Adrian and Usher was on stage. It was a song back in the day called Ready or Not by After 7. And they was on stage singing that song. And Adrian had the second part, the high pitched part. Usher had the first verse. So we out there, you know, listening to them do their thing. And Daryl said, "Who y'all think is the best?" And everybody said Adrian. I was the only one saying Usher. And he called me crazy, man. I was like, man, that dude, he had it. You know, Adrian is a better singer than Usher. And make no mistakes about that. But Usher had the whole package, man. The looks, the swag. You could tell he was there, man. He just needed that push. So, yeah.
So you seen it way back then?
I was there. Yeah, I seen it. Yeah. Because that dude, you know, some people just got it, man. You know how you could be a basketball scout or something and you looking at college players and you just know who's going to be the one? That's how it was, you know, Big Time. He just had it, man. You know, he won the contest at the Brainerd High School talent show, you know, and he was up there against some heavy talent and he pulled it off. Yeah.
So was he in middle school at this time?
Yeah, I think Usher was going to Delwood at that time. Yeah, he was going to Delwood around that time. Yeah.
So what happened to break off from the New Beginning to what led to the to your split from New Beginning?
Well, we was doing keep in mind I'm still the hype man now. I'm not in the group. Right, I'm just the hype man. So we were doing a show at the River Bend. This had to be back in 90, 91, something like that. And we ran into this guy. He was a promoter in town promoting a play, but he was from, I think, Miami, Florida, somewhere. His name's Sylvester Burton. And he saw us perform at the River Bend on the Conoco stage, and he asked Daryl, was he interested in getting signed? So Daryl was like, yeah. So, you know, long story short, Sylvester got the guy signed, and they went off to Fort Lauderdale and started recording, and the rest is history, man.
So you didn't make the move to Fort Lauderdale?
I had have a choice to make the move.
I got you.
Yeah, it was just the 5 guys. Daryl took them on to Fort Lauderdale to record. It was a small record label called Foresight Records out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Those guys went down there and worked with them on their first album.
So what was your mindset back then, seeing that now you started with these guys, now they went on and doing their thing? Where was you at then? Like, okay, now I'm used to doing this. Let me transition into doing something else.
Well, I mean, I was a little hurt, you know what I'm saying? Because I, wanted to move on with the guys because we used to all be together, selling tapes in front of the Texaco on 3rd Street back in the day, just out there like brothers doing our thing or whatever. But, when they went on, I was happy, happy to see. When I first saw the album cover, I was like, damn, that's what's up. But at the same time, I was a little, disgruntled. So I'm just a little dude from my own part, you know what I'm saying? So I go back to the streets and, you know how that goes. You go back to the streets, you find yourself sucked into the streets, you hustling or whatever. So I just got the hustling and stuff and went away to the Army for a minute, came back home, started back hustling, and I hooked up with my childhood friend, TK, Terry King.
Hold
And
on.
Terry,
Let's not gloss over that. What made you go? What made you go to the military?
shit, just being out south, man, wasn't nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? Just running around doing dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Then my dad was on my ass, like, you know, you got to get up out of here. So yeah, so I had to do that. Yeah.
So how long was you in the military before you clicked up with your boy TK?
About 2 years, because I actually didn't stay. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out. You know, 'cause a little rough dude from Alton Park wasn't used to no discipline and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there wild and I stayed in trouble. You know what I'm saying? They put my ass on the Greyhound. I said, be back home.
So all right. So the initial, what made you and TK come together and say, "Hey, man, we're gonna do this music thing"?
Well, when we were growing up in the project, we always used to try to be rappers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when I came back home from the Army, TK had already had a studio set up in the projects and everything. Like, he was already on it, you know. So when I came back home and started touching bases with everybody and found out he had a studio, we just linked up and it went on from there.
So what was y'all first song?
Man, I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you, man, because we did so many songs, man. We probably recorded a couple hundred songs, so I couldn't even tell you, bro, to be honest.
So you remember the name of the first album?
Oh, you saying like the first single we had, like from the album? Oh, that was a song called "Time to Get Down."
Who produced?
Yeah, "Time to Get Down."
Who produced the song?
Let me think. I want to say Walt did it. Walt used to be with Block Country Stuff.
Extraordinaire, Walt Greer.
Extraordinaire, yeah, he gave us that beat. Yeah, he was the coldest producer back then. You got to keep in mind, like, all this stuff that they got now, these computers and stuff, you didn't have that back then. It was expensive to try to get your hands on the MPC and a Triton keyboard and all that. So Walt them had that. So, you know, Walt was like one of the extraordinaire. He was probably my favorite producer back then, still to this day.
So what year was, if you can remember, what year was that when y'all did that first song, if you can remember?
Probably like around 1997 or 8, something like. I know the album dropped in 99, but we had to, you know, it took about 2 years to do that because, you know, back then, you know, recording songs, making records, it was more labor intensive back then than it is now.
So who idea, cause y'all was monumental in doing something that nobody had seen at this time. The album cover. Y'all went, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all went through pen and pixel to get the album cover done.
Yeah, that was TK idea. TK was kind of like Baby back then, you know what I'm saying? He shiny dude, you know. I'm more laid back, you know what I'm saying? So TK was like, man, forget this. We finna do like Baby them and P them, you know. So we jumped on the plane and went to Houston, Texas, man, and went out there and took pictures and, you know, did everything we needed to do to get that album cover popping. And yeah, it's a funny story about that because if you ever interview TK, he'll tell you. I don't know if you remember that album cover from C Murder, Life After Death. You remember that album cover?
The one where he was sitting, it was his first CD where he had like his leg cut off and he
was sitting in the electric chair.
Yeah.
I sat in that electric chair.
the very one?
The exact electric chair. I sat in the electric chair. It was in a photo studio out there in Houston with I forgot that guy now. I can't think of the guy name who did the photo shoot for us. But yeah, they still had the props in there from C Murder album cover. Yeah.
And so y'all asked,
huh?
Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah, that's how we got like a lot of the inside scoop on like running an independent record label and how distribution work and all that. Cause the guy that was talking to it, Pen and Pixel even turned us on to what was going on with Cash Money situation back in those days. Like those guys were selling so many records, like they had Southwest in debt with them, like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got a little education going out to Houston, fooling with them.
Because when it hit the city, when it came out, no matter where you were from, when you saw that cover, you were like, hold up, who is this? Because what at that time, and if people be truthful, ain't nobody cover was like that. Nobody.
Nah, cause them covers cost like $5,000. So you know what I'm saying? Niggas wasn't doing it like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't think nobody ever done it after us until you know, the price of graphics started becoming more cheap, you know, for people. But back then, nah, wasn't nobody doing that.
Cause as far as I can remember, I think y'all the only, and somebody who watching this or watch it later on can fact check me. To this day, I think y'all the only people from Chattanooga to get a Pen and Pixel cover.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Cause like Pen and Pencil went bankrupt maybe a few years after that. So I don't know nobody else who did that. Yeah.
Cause we seen it, we were like, hold up. This on another level.
Yeah, that was TK idea, man. I can't even take the credit for that. TK came up with that. He was like the Chattanooga baby at one time, you know, out on the south side and stuff, you know. So he was a stunner, you know what I'm saying? So he wanted that to reflect what we were doing. I'm not a shiny guy. I don't like jewelry or nothing really. So, you know.
So how did the name come about?
I came up with the name. I'm a big Tupac fan. And Tupac said it in one of his I think it was that song, All Eyes on Me. He said something about live the life of a boss player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I got the name from, listening to Pac.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said live the life of a boss player until the day we die, something like that.
Yeah, on that All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, that's the song. Wow.
Yep.
So were you Tricky Slim when you was in Boss Players, or you changed?
Nah, I changed that later on because I really didn't like that name I had, you know, when we was doing Boss Players. It was just something we came up with on the fly.
So what was y'all names when you was Boss Players?
Man, I think I was going by the name Infamous Al or something like that. I can't even remember TK name. That was so many years ago, man.
Cause after that, you start calling yourself Tricky Slim, and then I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he came out with a CD called Boss Dog or something like that.
That was his name, Boss Dog. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that Boss Dog project, actually it was supposed to be the second Boss Player album, but you know what I'm saying? I was on some old crazy stuff back then. I told TK, man, just, you know, take the songs, man, and just do your thing with it. And that's how he came out with that Boss Dog project. Yeah.
So you was like, man, I'm through with it, but don't let it die.
Yeah, I was getting frustrated with it, man, and I was going through some personal stuff, you know, so I just wasn't feeling music. When we was working on that second Boss Player album, I just wasn't feeling music, man. And I told TK we can go ahead and just take these songs and use them as your solo, which I was still working with him, you know what I'm saying, helping him put the album together and everything, so, yeah.
So what made you come back to the table and say, hey, man, I'm going to be Tricky Slim? What made you come back and do
that? You know, to be honest, some of my partners out east, one of my partners out east gave me that name. Yeah, because I was real skinny back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And he used to say like the way I was doing business in the streets and shit, I was kind of, you know what I'm saying, tricky with it and whatever. So that's how I got that name, Tricky Slim. Yeah.
So what was your first song after you stamped yourself as Tricky Slim?
Man, I had a song called M&J Player. It was this dude. He used to hate on me all the time, man. He was, you know what I'm saying, like we be in the club. You know how you got one of them little, not necessarily your friend, but a hanger on or associate of the crew. Like he used to slick hate on me all the time because I used to be clean and fresh and I was running out east and they knew I was from out south or whatever, but we were cool, you know, when nobody tripping. And I'm like, man, this nigga, yeah, I'm one of the real ones. Like I'm doing this shit for real. This nigga M&J Player, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, so that's how I came up with that song, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think I remember that song. Who produced that song?
It was a guy named Black Boy Beats. He produced that song for me. And I pressed up a lot of copies. I was riding around the city just getting copies of it out. I just wanted people to hear it. So, you know, that I did that song. I released a whole project called Based on a True Story. And it got rave reviews, but I was just in between making records and trying to beat Boston George, man. You know what I'm saying? So I had a love for music, like it was there, but you know, it's like I'm moving in and out of the game, you know.
Cause I ain't gonna lie, the first time I ran across y'all, well, actually met you. I don't know if you remember this. What's the guy name? It was at the National Guard. I think Haystack was the headlining performer. And y'all performed. I was supposed to perform, but I didn't perform. And I think when y'all performed, it was you, and I remember Coop. Coop was with y'all, and I can't remember who else was with you. This was, I think, what's the guy named? Steve Madeley. He used to go by he used to go by the Instigator.
White boy.
Yeah, he actually put the show together.
Yeah, that's my guy, man. Steve, that's a good guy, man. I remember that night too, because Haystack is like actually one of my favorite rappers. So it was crazy that I got a chance to meet him that night, and he was like, I asked him, I said, man, how much you charge for a verse? He said, I ain't even gonna charge you, man. I just shoot you a verse, man. I was like, wow, like I was blown away, man. Yeah.
Did you ever get that verse?
Nah, I ain't get it. I ain't go to Nashville.
Cause I remember it was Haystack was on the show.
Jelly
Roll was there. Cause at that time I was with he go by T Rouser. It was me, T Rouser. He was Young Twist at the time.
Oh, Twist, yeah, Twist. I like that dude, man. That dude real talented, man.
Yeah, Twist dope. Yeah. I think it was Trey 80 who go by Ken Trail. Also,
you talking about all the heavy hitters now, man.
Yeah, like, but see, at the time we was all Trey had made his name because he was with the HPGs, but Twist was on the rise, and I had a homeboy named, he actually called himself Tricky, but he rapped here and there. But it was like all of us we was gonna perform. I don't forget why we didn't perform. I don't know what happened, but we was supposed to perform on the show because on the cover, I never forget the cover. It was a great cover, and Haystack had his belly out on the cover.
You got a good memory, man. I don't even remember all that.
Yeah, man, I got my memory. I got a cold memory. So with that being said, man, how do you hook up with Coop, man? Coop, one of the coldest people in the city to ever do it too on their beats.
Shit, man, me and Coop go way back. Coop was actually friends with my cousin Casey, and they had a little group called the Psychos. And Casey used to bring we had cassettes. Cassettes was still around back in those days.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So he bring them tapes around and stuff, and we listen to their songs and stuff like that. I'm like, damn, who on them beats? You know what I'm saying? He kept saying, Coop, Coop, Coop. So that's how I met Coop. But I really didn't hook up with Coop, like making music with him until years later.
So your cousin was in the Psychos with Coop now.
Yeah. He was in the him, and it was so many of those guys that they was all in a group together because they lived in the same neighborhood or whatever. But my little cousin ended up going to the penitentiary for some years. So I guess that's what separated them.
Yeah. So so how far did you take it with the Tricky Slim? Because I remember the M&J Player, and I remember y'all, because at that time, I think Boss Dog had came out, and then you started establishing yourself. And it was like y'all, whether you realize it or not, it was like y'all had a continual run.
Yeah, we did, but that's why I tell a lot of these guys, man, like when you doing that music stuff, looking at it in hindsight, you have to dedicate yourself to that stuff, man. You can't try to be the dope boy over here and then making records over here. The two don't go together. You got to do one or the other. And then, like, if you hear a lot of those guys rapping right now, talking about they got this and got that, man, them dudes ain't doing that for real, man. It's all fugazi, man, because you can't do both. Both of them going to require your time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And most of the people, I'm going to put this out here for the people. They can get mad at me. Most of the people who do both, one or two things happen. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. They either go to the penitentiary or they either get killed.
Yeah, that's true. But I'm saying, like, I'm not saying a lot of guys don't have 1 foot in the street, 1 foot in the rap game, whatever. I'm saying, like, you not big. You know what I'm saying? You small time. Like, you not that guy you saying you are in them records, because if you are, you don't have time for no rap stuff, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I tell anybody who's doing music, man, just focus on that music, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what, I personally made the mistake at, was trying to be a rapper and trying to be a trapper, and then, and you lose focus. You lose focus, man, when you're trying to play both sides of the fence.
So that's really, is that how Tricky Slim came to an end, where you like, man, I'm done with it because I gotta focus all the way over here?
Yeah. And then, what I'm saying, like some couple tragic events happened, you know what I'm saying? A couple of my partners got caught up in a sting or whatever and got messed over, and you know what I'm saying, everything came falling down, man. Time to go to work. Yeah.
So you was one of the ones who realized, hey, bro, I can't keep doing this because I'm gonna end up like that.
Yeah, cause all my partners, everybody that I ran with, everybody went to the feds, but me. You know what I'm saying? Like, one by one, everybody get picked off. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, look, dog, let me go and punch a clock and just, you know what I'm saying, focus on my kids, wife and all that good stuff.
So you went off, you got you a job, and then what gave you the spirit to, well, actually you already had it. What made you tap all the way into the entrepreneur spirit? Because you back with a whole different brand, but what made you tap into the entrepreneur spirit?
Well, I always have had that. You know what I'm saying? Like, anybody that's running around in the streets, you got that. You just applying it to some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But if you take that same hustle and grind and apply it to something else, man, it'll jump. It'll jump just like it did for you in the streets. So I always had that. My grandmama was an entrepreneur, and that's pretty much who raised me. My grandma, she had a restaurant in Alton Park. She owned houses and stuff like that, just was always getting money. So, that's who I looked up to. So I always had that spirit, man.
So if you care to mention the restaurant your grandmama had.
It was called a Food Bar in Alton Park, right across the street from the health center, Alton Park Middle School, right across the street from. Everybody know my grandma. That's from that neighborhood. So, yeah.
So you also got into the trucking industry, right?
Yeah, that was when I got a job. you know, everything came tumbling down, and my cousin, he was already in the game, and he showed me one of his check stubs. I was like, "Damn, y'all eating like that?" It wasn't as much as what we were doing, but it was enough to sustain you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Damn, you eating like that?" So I'm like, "Let me do it." So I jumped in that and played around with it for a couple of years, and then realized that I could like actually own my own stuff. So you know what I'm saying? I took that route, and this shit came up, man.
So what year? So you was ahead of the curve. What year did you go and learn the business or start working in the trucking industry as a
That
worker?
was that was back in 2007, 2008, something like that.
So you actually like 10 years ahead, cause like now is the time, like within the last few years, you hearing people say, "Hey man, this trucking industry booming." When you been in it, understand, hey,
Been booming. Yeah, man. That jump been booming, man. And I'm the type of dude, man. If I find the secret, if I get the sauce, I'm gonna spread it. You know what I'm saying? I'll try to tell a lot of guys around, you know, hey man, go and do this like this, because you can get in that game and get the seed money to go into some more stuff. You know what I'm saying? Real estate, you wanna do crypto, stocks and bonds, you know what I'm saying? Like the trucking industry will give you the opportunity and give you the money to actually go and set yourself up in other areas as well.
so while you was doing the trucking, what made you say, "Hey man, I need to own my own"? Like what was you studying the game, like the
Yeah.
trucking game?
Oh yeah. I always studied the game, man. You know what I'm saying? Then a couple old heads was giving me game along the way. You know what I'm saying? So once I figured it out, I was like, "Damn, we could play with these like this street money, like, you know what I'm saying? This is legit street money right here. You know what I'm saying? You know how guys like get so happy they getting their income tax checks, you know, $7,000, $8,000. You know, you like, damn, I could do that in a week. Like, wow. And then, you know, once you start turning that kind of money and you get acclimated to that type of lifestyle, then you like, hold up. Then you start realizing there's levels to this. Like, you know, it's guys making 50,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So what was the name of your truck company? If you might still got it, knowing you.
Yeah. I'm still in the game, man. I just Alvin Williams Trucking, LLC, man. Yeah, still in the game. You know, I ain't going nowhere. It's just right now I'm trying to you know, kind of delve back into entertainment a little bit, because I was right before, one part that I left out is after I stopped the Tricky Slim stuff, I was actually trying to invest in artists. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to play the background and, you know, put money behind artists, but a lot of them guys back home, they weren't serious, man. Like, they trying to be famous before they actually famous. You know what I'm saying? They record a song and then get this big when 10 people in the neighborhood hear this song, you know, and a lot of guys don't want to actually go out there and do the work. Like, they think it's just, you know, fun and game and fame, when, you know, we talking about a time when there wasn't no internet like that. You know what I'm saying? When you had to, like, when me and TK was doing it, and you know, a lot of those guys, D Scott, Block, all them, they could tell you the same thing. We had to go to these cities and hand out these CDs hand to hand. It wasn't no internet. You know what I'm saying? So like one time we was in TK will tell you, one time we got shot at in Houston, Texas, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to be in these rough neighborhoods and stuff, you know, back in the day versus now. So I couldn't find nobody who would really just get out there and hustle. You know what I'm saying? Just hustle like that. So I just gave up, man. Just gave up.
So I ain't gonna hate you. Like, was it some guys you wanted to work with that end up popping? Like, or did all of them crash and burn?
Everybody crashed and burned. Yeah. That's why, like, you know, in my older years, I'm in my 40s now. So, you know what I'm saying, looking at it in hindsight, man, it's just like, man, you know, it ain't no middle ground. You got winners and losers. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta want that. You know, like a lot of these guys, I heard a lot of guys like, man, you know, they talk about the local guys like Isaiah Rashad and Usher and all those guys, like, why they don't come home, put nobody on? Like, nigga, go and do the work they did. Like, they don't owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys don't want to work, man. And they see the videos and they hear the music. You know, you might be in Atlanta and you in the clubs and you see these guys running around in the clubs and stuff, and you want that, but you don't know the work that came behind that, getting to that point. You just see the end result.
Let me ask you this, because you come from the regime where I was in when I was making music too. Do you think the internet has made a lot of these dudes lazy?
Made everybody lazy. Made everybody lazy because it killed the work ethic, man. Like I was telling you earlier, when we went, if you wanted to be heard outside of Chattanooga, you had to get in the car or jump on an airplane with a whole lot of CDs and paraphernalia and hand that shit out hand to hand. You had to do that. And you had to go in these rough neighborhoods and these hood clubs and stuff. You had to cross the line. You know what I'm saying? So that's what separated the people who made it from the people who did.
Because I was telling the artists maybe yesterday, I was telling them how I remember living in College Hill Courts, and I seen Lil Boosie when he first started. A lot of people don't know this, but Lil Boosie went to every neighborhood in Chattanooga, the hood. He didn't go to the mall. He went to the bricks. And
we did a song with Boosie.
And him and his street team was passing out they merchandise, and I was like, who is this little dude? And then years later.
Yeah, that was the grind back then, man. You had to go there. You know what I'm saying?
So you said your idea of the song with Boosie. How did that come about?
You know what? I don't know who. I want to say D. Scott or Block. Somebody brought them to the city, and I don't even think they knew that they was hot up here. It was his first time in Chattanooga, and man, that dude sold a verse for like $300. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and it was recorded at Block House back in the day. That's so many years ago.
So let me ask you this, because a lot of people don't know this. Was that in the big room or the little room at Block? Cause if you done been to Block, you remember the big room, and we ain't talking about on 58. We ain't talking about this.
Nah, that was on Meade Circle.
Yeah, I ain't gonna put the address out, but Meade Circle.
Nah, the Meade Circle, yeah.
Yeah, so was y'all in the big room or the little room?
Man, I can't even tell you that, man. I know I think Block had just got that Mackey set up, so that had to be the big room where he had the soundproof booth and all that. And there was a room over from that where they used to do the little pre-production and all that stuff. Yeah.
So check this.
Had a little factory over there, man.
Check this out. When I started, the pre-production room was the studio. That was the little room. When you go in,
that's when he had that little Foz Tech he was recording on back in the day.
And you go in there, it was like a closet.
Right.
It was like the Rap Academy. If you ain't got your stuff together, you gonna be sweating.
Yeah, I remember them days, man. Block came a long way, but a lot of people, you know, when they talk about Chattanooga music history and stuff like that, they tend to kind of leave. They don't mention Block a lot, but Block, man, he was like the conductor, really. Even though we wasn't the same camp or whatever, we all went to his studio to put in work. He was the only outlet. Him and Ralph Chisholm at the time, but I think D. Scott was recording with Ralph. But Block, man, everybody went through Block studio. You know, if you were making music in that time and you had a little money where you can afford studio time, you went to Block. That's how a lot of us from different sides of the city that's how a lot of us know each other, from meeting at Block Studio.
And I know you ain't lying, because I was in it. I put out my first CD in the 10th grade, and I met Block. He came to, they had like a workshop for teenagers in the West Side, and that's where I met Block. And you're right. It was really only, at that time, it might have been 3 studios. But it was RC Production, Ralph Chisholm, Conscious Steps Entertainment, which later was Block Life Entertainment. And I think after that, I think Frank Nitt and them opened up to Die For.
Yeah, over there on Market Street.
So at one point, for the most part, then was if you was recording at 1 or 3 places.
Yeah, that's facts, man. Facts. Yeah. And then I ended up getting my own studio. But with me, I want to open to the public. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Block, I think I forgot what happened with Block, but something happened. And I ended up buying a studio set up and everything, and I just moved all that stuff to my own spot, and me and my camp was going at it. And that was during the time of Tricky Slim and all that good stuff. So yeah.
So you, after the trucking, well, not after, why you got in the trucking industry, what made you say, man, let me tap back into this entertainment?
Well, I got a couple partners in Atlanta that do shows and stuff like that. And, you know, we kind of playing around with that a little bit. But actually, it was my partner Corey idea. He was wanting to see, you know, what Chattanooga had to offer, because we running around Atlanta, you know what I'm saying, doing the things, you know, that men do, chasing women and having a good time and stuff like that. And you know, my partner Corey, he wanted to see what was in Chattanooga as far as, you know, the nightlife and all that good stuff. So that's where that idea came from. Just get together and let's just kind of give Chattanooga a piece of Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? That's where Alcor Entertainment came from.
So you being half owner, your partner Corey being the other owner, making up the whole Alcor Entertainment. How did y'all come up with the name?
That was Corey. I didn't even have a name for it or nothing. He was like, man, just put our names together. I'm like, Alvin Corey Entertainment? That shit whack as hell. He said, no, man, Alcor. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's straight. We could do that. So yeah, that's what we did, man. And they once he came up with that, man, it kind of like reignited something in my heart, you know what I'm saying? Because once you're an artist, you always an artist, whether you're not doing it no more or you still, whatever. That love for music is still in your heart and it never goes anywhere. So once my brain got to turning again, I was like, you know what? We need to, you know, kind of revive the entertainment scene in Chattanooga and get these tours and all these major artists to start coming through our city. Because, you know, I don't know if you know or not, but, you know, the music industry is real small with promoters, managers, everybody. So Chattanooga is known as one of them markets you just skip over. You know what I'm saying? Because Chattanooga don't buy tickets. You know what I'm saying? They don't buy tickets early. Chattanooga is a last minute town. So that's why a lot of promoters don't come through Chattanooga and bring shows and stuff like that. Now, I don't know how old you are, but I remember growing up like in the 80s in Chattanooga. Man, we got all the major tours. You know, LL Cool J, New Edition, all the major stars came to the UTC Arena. I met Eazy-E, Ice-T. I met a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying, back in the day coming through Chattanooga. Dr. Drake been to Chattanooga, NWA. A lot of people don't know that. Before they blew up, they was on, I forgot who tour they was on, but they was on a tour and they came through Chattanooga because Dr. Dre actually got family members here in Chattanooga. So yeah, they came. So I just want to bring those days back, man, you know, kind of boost the city up. Because right now, I don't think a lot is going on there. So
Like,
that's
what's crazy is being that you said that back then the UTC arena was like the hub. Everybody was funneled. All the promoters use. If you had a tour, I'm gonna tell you what. You correct me if I'm wrong. Like now, everybody going to Nashville. Back then, they was coming through. They was coming to Chattanooga, and Chattanooga was a hot spot, and you had to hit the UTC arena if you had a tour.
Yeah, we see the funny part about it is Chattanooga was one of them towns where, like I said, the major tours and everything that was going on, they came through Chattanooga. So I don't what I'm trying to figure out now, because I'm an analytical type of person. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to figure out now is why they not coming through, like why the money is not here. Like, is it like the demographics changed, or is it because a lot of the founders and jobs went away and the economics is not in Chattanooga anymore? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Because back then we got all those tours, and then it's like it dried up. And you know, I got a chance to talk to one of the promoter guys on that New Edition tour, and I was tripping because that tour went through Charleston, South Carolina. It went through Savannah, Georgia, and it went through Columbus, Georgia. All those markets are way smaller than Chattanooga. So I'm like, why we didn't get that? You know what I'm saying? And it all boiled down to ticket sales, man, and people buying tickets in advance. And then those towns that I just named, they have big military installations in them. So them soldiers, they buy tickets real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like, the rule of thumb is if you're a concert promoter and say like you got a show, that show might cost $100,000 to put on. You want to put up $50,000 and then you want to recoup that other 50 at least, you know what I'm saying, 30 days before showtime. You know what I'm saying? 15 days before showtime, you're pushing it. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't recoup that back end, that front end money or whatever, that's an indicator that show finna flop. And that's what happened to us with that Carl Thomas show in Chattanooga. We put up, I don't want to say those numbers.
Yeah, you ain't gotta do all that.
Yeah, but we put up, you know, couple $1,000, tens of thousands of dollars. And you know, we used all the platforms and stuff to promote that show, and them ticket sales weren't moving. So that's what gave us an indicator that show was finna flop. So that, you know, that's how that worked, man. But I got faith in Chattanooga, man. Like, I feel like Chattanooga will show up. You just have to, you know what I'm saying, be consistent and bring the right artists through there. Cause my lyfejennings show, it sold out, man. It sold out fast.
So let me ask you this. So what was the difference? Like, do you think it was because, it seemed like it was because of who you brought, cause the lyfejennings took off.
Yeah.
But when you brought Carl Thomas, or when y'all was looking into bringing Carl Thomas, they was kind of stalling.
It wasn't no looking into bringing him. Carl Thomas was paid. All the artists were paid. The show is going down. It's just the people didn't buy. But this is what I say, man. I'm in the middle with it. You know, my partner, he's just like, fuck it, let's go on to another one. But I was looking at it like, well, it wasn't nothing going on in Chattanooga. And, you know, it was something nice to do for Valentine's Day. You know, people can get out, have something to do. But at the same time, I'm kind of not mad at Chattanooga because I'm like, well, you know, Carl Thomas, to be honest, he really didn't have a deep catalog. You know, he probably got about 2 or 3 hit songs or whatever. So it was well over a $20,000 lesson. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, moving forward, you have to bring those artists that have a deep catalog with a lot of hits or enough hits to entertain a crowd for at least an hour.
So let me ask you, so it's basically what I hear you saying is it's like you got to have enough core fans in the surrounding area who know enough of your music to be like, hey, I'm going to see him.
Yeah. Yeah, because you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
So that person has to be able to entertain a large amount of people. If you know what I'm saying, like in Carl Thomas' situation, he was, you know, on Bad Boy Records, signed to Puff. He did some stuff, but as a solo artist, his catalog just wasn't as long as Lyfejennings. You know what I'm saying? So you got to look at like anybody who listening to this interview that want to go into concert promotions and stuff like that. Before you book an act, you can't be excited on them. You know what I'm saying? At the moment, you got to look at their body of work and say, okay, what all have they done over, you know, their career? And that's how you determine who you're going to book. You know what I'm saying? Well, Lyfejennings, one thing about Lyfejennings, I'm a fan of Life, but I'm also a student of the game. And what I understood about Life is that first Lyfejennings album, that dude could tour off that one album because that was one of those classic albums that Black America just embraced. Like, you could play that from beginning to end. Like, you're not skipping over nothing.
It will be what's considered a cult classic.
Yes. That's what it was. So I knew I could win with Life. I had Tank. I was gonna do Tank instead of Carl Thomas, but you know, Tank was saying like he was gonna do 3 songs. I'm like, how am I explaining to Chattanooga that he just gonna do 3 songs? Like, you know, so I couldn't mess with that. But man, we got a lot of events planned. We got this comedy show coming on April the 30th, which one of the 85 South Show boys, Claytonenglish, he's a part of that. We got Pierre from the movie Baps. I don't know how to pronounce that.
And he also got the I want to say it's called Pierre's Panic Room. That's his podcast.
Yeah, he got that podcast, and he did How to Be a Player.
With Bill Bellamy.
Yeah, he got a string of movies he's done been in or whatever. And we got Chattanooga's own Mario Torre. And we got
Nate Royer on the show as well.
Royer. Yeah. So we got that event coming, and actually I'm already
go ahead. Yeah, I think it had muted. Go ahead. I hear you.
I can't hear you, bro.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, you were saying, I got that show on the road, and cause I was mentioning Nate Royer, and you mentioned Mario Torre.
Yeah, we got him. So we're gonna get that comedy show popping on the 30th of April. And I'm already back to the drum board working on a R&B show that I want to bring late July. So I can't reveal who it is, but I got a feeling that Chattanooga's gonna show up and really support the 2 artists that I have in mind right now.
So the comedy show looks like it's doing a lot better as far as it's making some ground right now, correct?
Yeah. It's making a whole lot more ground than that Carl Thomas show, because a lot of people are very familiar with the 85 South show, and they love, you know, every cast member that's on that podcast or whatever. And Clayton is he's a real comedian. You know, I love DC too. Eventually I'm gonna bring, all right, I'm gonna be transparent here for a moment. I actually was in the process of bringing Carlos Miller and Clayton, but Carlos ended up having an engagement that was paying a little more money. So I couldn't do Carlos. Clayton, DC, he's already on some tour But yeah, so we got Clayton, and I'm very excited about having Clayton. I think he's gonna do a great job, and he's gonna, have people talking for days about this show.
So let me ask you this. As a businessman, I'm gonna ask you this. Have you thought about bringing the 85 South show as a whole to Chattanooga?
Yeah, but that tour run you about 100, man. Yeah, it's gonna run you about 100,000, man, because by the time so like you pay the boys they fee, and then you can't bring them to no trade center. You gotta do the arena. You got, even if you bring them to the Memorial Auditorium, I think the Memorial Auditorium only seat about 3,000 people maybe, but you have to get the arena for them. And what the arena would cost plus security and all that's $100,000 easy.
Okay, let me ask you this: how much do the Tivoli seat?
I think the Tivoli might seat about 1,500, 1,300 people. It's not a big crowd because that's just a theater. Theaters really don't seat a whole lot of people, man.
Man, the Memorial Auditorium, you said 3,000?
It may not even be that, to be honest. Like, it may not even be 3,000, man. Yeah. But I'm just guessing about maybe 3,000 people, and the roundhouse, it might hold 10,000, 12,000.
Yeah, that'll be.
And that's one of the reasons why you can't, like, a lot of people wonder why Usher can't do a show in Chattanooga. It's not a big enough arena to hold him. You know what I'm saying? Because like he doing Madison Square Garden and all these big arenas and stuff like that. And to book somebody like Big Time, you're looking at $1 million right off the rip. You haven't even gotten into getting the arena, the security, paying for the back end stuff. People like him and Alicia Keys and all those people, Bruno Mars, they $1 million right off the rip.
So you going into why, and people need to hear this, because you going into why we don't, because people always like, why they don't come to Chattanooga, and you really explaining and breaking down. People want to see your Jay-Z's, your Snoop Dogg's, and
you'll never see that. You'll never see that in Chattanooga because Chattanooga can't hold those kind of artists. Like, so I can break it down in layman's terms and just say this. Okay, if it costs $1 million just to bring them, you haven't even gotten your building, you haven't dealt with security, all the logistics that it takes to put on a show. You at $1 million just to book them, and you got 10,000 seats. How you gonna recoup that million with 10,000 seats? You can't do it. You need at least 20, 30, 40,000 seats. And then in a market like Chattanooga, the economics is just not there because the average person in Chattanooga work at a factory or a warehouse somewhere. It's not truth be told, it's not a black middle class in Chattanooga. So a lot of black people in Chattanooga not finna spend $400, $500, $600, $700 for tickets. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you would never see a Jay-Z or a Usher or all these big name artists here in Chattanooga. You won't see it.
And with that being said, while you was giving the answer, the UTC Arena officially seats 10,928 people.
I said 10 to 12, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah.
So think about those numbers, and then think about that $1 million that Usher would cost or Jay-Z would cost, and then try to do the math. You just at $1 million with booking them now. You haven't even paid for the arena and all the back end stuff, So that's why you can't get those big names in Chattanooga unless they just on a promo run. You see what I'm saying? If they on a promo run, then yeah, they might come through, but that's normally stuff they do with the radio station, but that's the only way you're gonna see them.
Wow. Boy, that's cold. Yeah.
Yeah, and Chattanooga not even a Chattanooga is not even a second tier market. You know, you got your big main markets like your New Yorks and your Los Angeles and stuff like that. And then you get into your second tier markets like your Birminghams and your Nashvilles and stuff like that. And then, you know, you go to third tier. Chattanooga is the chilling circuit, what we would call the chilling circuit in the entertainment business. So it's not a lot of money on the chilling circuit. You just going through the chilling circuit if you're on your way up or if you're on your way down. You know what I'm saying?
With that being said, shout out to Lil Mo Films. Lil Mo Films, he is actually, you know, that's part of his campaign. He even got a podcast called The Chitlin Circuit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So, and okay. he understands that, and me and him talk a lot, and that's what he be like, man, we got to, he always tell me, man, we got to work with what we got, or we got to work our terrain. And he understands that our market is the Chitlin Circuit.
It is. It is.
And it's hard, and especially being a businessman like yourself, it's hard because you from the city, you want to show love, but you like, y'all get, and basically, I'm glad we're doing this interview so people can understand there's only so much that a promoter could do.
Yeah, and on the chilling circuit, yeah.
Exactly.
Because, like, I want to, it's this little chick, man, I fell in love with her music. Man, what's her name? I think her name Ella May or something like that. Like, I want to book her, but I don't think I can get my money back.
Price,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, she 100. You know what I'm saying? I might could do it. I don't know, but you know, you dealing with the chilling circuit, man. Those them towns where, you know, people walk up and buy tickets. You know, they don't just buy tickets in advance. You may have good luck. You may have a half a house. Your show may flop. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man.
Do you remember a while back when somebody booked Rick Ross?
Yeah, he flopped in Chattanooga.
But what's crazy?
Hey, you know what? One of my partners was talking about that. Like, he came to Chattanooga and they had the front end money, you know what I'm saying, set the show up and everything. But see, that's why I tell promoters, a lot of young guys who get into this game, you gotta have the whole budget before you even plan the show. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of promoters, they get in trouble where they got the front end money and then they put the tickets on sale and then the people don't buy the tickets. So
man,
now,
please,
you know,
hold on. Before you go too deep in it, please tell these people that again. Please tell them that again.
You gotta have the whole budget, man. You can't just try to throw a show with half the budget because you don't know what the people gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Especially in Chattanooga, you don't know what the people gonna do. So make sure you have that whole budget. So when you do throw that show, you can cash those artists out. You just gonna have to hold that L, man. You know what I'm saying? We had to hold that L with Carl Thomas. We had to hold it. You know what I'm saying? But you want to have the whole budget before you just start getting out there trying to get into the game like that.
And let me say this to the people of Chattanooga. Man, y'all always holler. This me to y'all. Y'all get mad. Y'all always holler people don't bring nobody. This man, I got a businessman on here who trying to bring people. Y'all need to start showing up in record numbers, man. Y'all want entertainment, you got to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. This just out of love, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, really just messing with Chattanooga. We're going to move around to different markets. You know what I'm saying? I've been invested in a couple shows outside of Chattanooga with some partners of mine. You know what I'm saying? But coming home and trying to really bring Chattanooga into the, you know, the 21st century for what's going on outside of, you know, there or whatever, you know, it's like, man, you gotta love Chattanooga to just stay there and play with it like that. Cause like I said, the mentality there, like, you know what I'm saying, it boxes you into a certain mentality. You know what I'm saying? And I was getting all kind of stuff like, who's the promoter? We don't know him. Like, that's that Chattanooga mentality. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you want to see the artist or not, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you worried about who the promoter is and all this stuff? You know, I went through all that when I did that Lyfejennings show, and it's just like that Chattanooga mentality, man. We got to shake that. And a lot of those guys up there, like the rap artists and stuff like that, man, y'all, they got to work together, man. It ain't going to work if Chattanooga don't work together. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I say about that.
Because you hear a lot of people talk, man, ain't nobody. It's like you got your Isaiah Rashads, you got your Ushers, and people, like you said, until we start showing unity as a city and supporting everything that come through here, it's gonna be hard for somebody to make it directly from here. Because let's be honest, Isaiah Rashad and Usher had to go elsewhere to make it. Then they was recognized in Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's the case. And you know, like with me, I've been outside of Chattanooga for years, man. And believe it or not, it's some guys from Chattanooga that's doing some major stuff that you don't even know. Like I can't think of that guy name. Damn, I'm in my late 40s, man. I don't get no sleep.
Like check this out. Lex Dirty. Dude that may his soul rest in peace. Lex Dirty. Lex Dirty has worked with Drake. He's worked with Outkast. He's worked with numerous artists. And he's from right here in Chattanooga. You got, like we talked about.
You got Romeo Johnson, who worked with P. Diddy, some of the biggest names in entertainment. I cannot think of this guy name from Chattanooga. He's out in LA. He was the music director for, I want to say, the Jimmy Kimmel Show or one of them big shows, the Tonight Show, straight from Chattanooga. You never heard of him. It's another guy from Chattanooga, from my hood, Alton Park. He left Chattanooga when he was a kid though, but he's from. He was on
the show with Corey Holcomb.
Zoe Williams.
Yeah.
Zoe Williams. Yeah. And it's a couple more names that slip in my mind right now. But it's people from Chattanooga that's making moves, man, that you don't even know nothing about. But they operate outside of Chattanooga. Why they don't come back home, I don't know. But at the same time, they don't owe nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need to get out there and put in that work.
And you got to look at it like this too, man. And people got to, if you in business, let me say this to the people. If you're in business, it's going to be so long that you're going to have love and you ain't making no money, because love, even if you're in a relationship, you can't pay your bills off love. Let's be honest.
Nah.
So you're going to be like, you can't get mad at somebody, man, why y'all don't come back? You got brothers like Mr. Williams, who I'm talking to right now. He's trying to make a way to come back. You got Lil Mo Films, who's trying to bridge the gap. And it's like, you can't get mad at people when they say, hey, man, we tried. We tried to come back. Y'all ain't spending your money. What you want us to do?
I think a lot of people have like that slave mentality where they don't want to see you get it. But the thing with me is, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Like this throwing shows and Alcor Entertainment and starting a promotions business. That's a side hustle. That ain't even my main breadwinner. You know what I'm saying? But trying to establish it back home, that's out of love, man, because the United States is big. Like, we take these shows anywhere. But my love for home is what got me want to say, you know what? We're going to establish this in Chattanooga. We're going to, make things better for our African-American people back home and give them something to do where they don't have to hit the road and go to the Nashvilles and the Atlantas. They can just put on their clothes and ride right down to the Trade Center or wherever we do the event and have a good time, man.
So let me ask you this. You talked about second tier, because I think people need to hear this. You talked about second tier, and then you mentioned you got your first tiers like your New Yorks, your Chicagos, and all that. You got your second tiers. What's the difference between the second tier and that chitlin circuit?
Money. That's it. Ain't nothing else to say. Money. You know, you go in your first tier, your top tier markets, your New York, Chicago's, your LA's. You could do $1 million a night. You know what I'm saying? You go to your Charlotte, North Carolinas, your Miamis and stuff like that. You could probably have like a $500,000 night. You know what I'm saying? And then you come down to the chilling circuit, man. You'll be lucky if you pull 20, 30 grand out that market. You know what I'm saying? That's why they don't touch it. It just boils down to money.
Yeah.
You have to spend a lot of money, you know what I'm saying? Like you bring lyfejennings or somebody like that, you know, you probably spend about 30, 40 grand putting that show on. And, you know, you'll be lucky to pull 10 out of it, 10, 15,000. Like the money just ain't there, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to have a love for that chili circuit. You got to be an artist that's just hungry and you grinding and you on your way up. That's what the chilling circuit is. You're on your way up. You know what I'm saying? You're building your movement organically. But like with big money promoters, they ain't gonna look at Chattanooga, man, because they know things I don't know. See, I'm just learning things because this concert promotion stuff, this is a new thing for me. So I'm still learning. I'm not gonna say I know it all, but one thing I do know about business that I learned from the game and I learned from the trucking business is, man, you're gonna have some flops. You're gonna take some L's. You know what I'm saying? It's that learning curve, man. You just gotta get in there and play the game and learn from your wins, learn from your losses. But shit, you probably don't start seeing no money till a couple years in. You know what I'm saying? But like, go ahead.
Cause like you stated earlier, once you learn the game, if people who done mastered the game understand, hey man, if I go over here, I'm gonna take a loss, or I might take a loss. But if I go over here, I know I'm gonna win. That's just simple mathematics.
Right.
And
right.
then
even where you will win that, you're gonna lose. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
It's just part of it, man. Like the average person don't have the heart for this. You know what I'm saying? You know, true be told, we lost roughly $25,000 with that carlthomas stuff. The average person would have took that lick and be like, man, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? They would have been done. You know what I'm saying? But I see the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? I see the bigger picture because once I'm able to work that market in Chattanooga and get top of the line acts that's reasonable now. I can't put up $100,000, bringing these big acts in. Even if I do pack the house, I can't recoup because I can't charge Chattanooga too much for them tickets. They're not gonna pay that. So like if I just for illustration purposes.
Okay.
If I did bring big time, okay, I'm gonna bring big time. This dude costs $1 million. Do you think I could pull $1 million out of Chattanooga?
You ain't got to. You just stated earlier. You ain't got a venue big enough.
Exactly. So even if you pull somebody, if you bring an act that's $100,000, $250,000, are you gonna pull that? You gonna be able to generate that $250,000 back out of Chattanooga? No, you're not gonna do it.
I'm gonna tell
you can't charge Chattanooga $150 a ticket, $200, $300 a ticket. You can't do that. They're not gonna buy them.
I'm gonna tell you the Chattanooga mentality. You already know this. Chattanooga, like if they say Rick, when this is what went into people's head. When they was like Rick Ross, people were like, man, Rick Ross. This was the consensus down here. And people could be truthful or not. Man, Rick Ross ain't coming down here.
Hey, that's funny you said that because when I brought lyfejennings, I swear to God, I had a chick call my phone. She wanted to, because I was selling the general admission on the Eventbrite, and I did the VIP hand to hand. I'm moving around when I get in town on the weekends. I sell the VIP. This chick was on the phone like she want to buy 2 VIP tickets, but she said, "Is he really coming?" I said, "What?" And she said, "Nah, man, you know how people be trying to scheme." I said, "Look, baby," I said, if you went to my Facebook page, Lyfejennings is on the video saying he's coming. And she said, yeah, man, but people be scheming. I'm like, so you telling me I got with Lyfejennings that he made this video so I could scheme you out of $70? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Bring shows and do, man, you go through some crazy stuff, man, but I'm built for that, man. I understand the mentality, and I work with the people, and I'm going to keep working with the people until I reach my goal of bringing Chattanooga back into that light, man.
Do you think it hurts Chattanooga because we're talking about scene, the promotion scene? We used to have clubs. We used to have a whole note. We used to have spots like that. It's like we got MP Sports Bar and Grill. We got places that's like we don't have places, or the places that we're known for ain't here no more. Like we don't have your whole notes. We don't have places to where, hey, you could bring these people here. And even if it ain't the Tivoli, we gotta cause we had, when D Scott and them were doing their thing, you knew people was gonna constantly come through here. And it was proven that people believe when D Scott say, hey, I'm bringing somebody, they coming.
Yeah, D had a track record.
And it's like, with you saying, man, I got the artist right here showing you. And they like, and that's why I gave the illustration on Rick Ross, because if people felt like Rick Ross was going to really come, I think it would have made more noise than it did.
He would have did all right, but I don't know, man. Like, you know, it's like, so like you get so many different reasons why people won't support stuff in Chattanooga. And you gotta blame our community at the same time, because a lot of them little dusty niggas like really messed it up for Black Chattanooga. You know what I'm saying? Like, we had the best of Smith Strut. We look forward to that every year. You know, that's the one day that the city come out, the Black community come out, and we see people we ain't seen in a long time. We get to eat turkey legs and, you know, see some women and, you know, enjoy ourselves. And, you know, them little dusty niggas, man, they just be messing it up for us. So you kind of can understand why a lot of people that's civilized be kind of hesitant to go to events in Chattanooga. You know, you can't just slam Chattanooga and say they slow. It's a lot of reasons, so many different reasons behind that. That's why with Alcor Entertainment, we're specializing in entertainment that'll keep the dusty dudes away, because we don't want that energy. So that's why I'm staying with R&B and comedy. You know what I'm saying? I may do a hip hop show. I don't know, but you know, we'll look into that in the future. But that's one of the main things that I'm doing, is bringing acts that'll keep the, you know what I'm saying, the little dusty population away, so all the Black people that want to get out and enjoy themselves, we can have a good time, man, and be safe.
And what's crazy, man, being that you said that, is like, somebody got to say this too. The dusty niggas gonna bring the crowd, but you ain't gonna have, the show might not even last. Like, say, let's be honest, you got your, I think NBA YoungBoy would sell out in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, you know what?
And hear me out on this. This is why I say that. If he was brought to the UTC arena, I believe it would sell out, because the mentality of the people. You would have to get NBA to say he coming. All these little young, the same little dusty niggas, they will buy it, but NBA probably would never make it to the stage.
Nah, he wouldn't. He wouldn't.
Cause somebody done got whooped before doing the opening act, or something been done happen.
I had a plug on Lil Baby, and his fee, what his fee is astronomical. But I had a plug based on, you know what I'm saying, relationship, somebody I know. Ain't no way in hell I do that, because, you know what I'm saying, when you do these shows, you gotta have $1 million insurance policy, you know what I'm saying? And then on top of that, the venues like UTC Arena, the Trade Center and all them, they have to approve these artists now. You know what I'm saying? And based on the type of music they make, they might not even approve.
And
you know
see,
what I'm saying?
I'm glad you brought that up because I was talking, and I got an inner circle of guys I know, and it's a group. I'm not gonna put their name out there. It's a group that approves or disapproves all the people who come through Chattanooga, and people don't know that.
I believe that because I had to get approval for lyfejennings, right? So they approved him, and then I was gonna do this. This was at the height of the pandemic, so I was gonna do a program called Vaccinations for Life because I don't know what to think about that, but you know what I'm saying? People was dying. A couple of people from out south that I knew personally passed away from that. So I wanted to do my part and try to get people healthy, you know what I'm saying? Make sure we control the spread of the coronavirus. And I was gonna do this program called Vaccinations for Life. And I was gonna use my concert, you know what I'm saying, tickets as a, a way of getting people to come and get vaccinated. And man, some of the local people that I tried to get involved with that program, they wouldn't even jump on board because of lyfejennings, man. Just because of who it was, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's funny style around Chattanooga, man.
And that is the very reason why it's hard for people to make it, man. From Chattanooga. That's why you gotta go elsewhere.
Yeah. You got to, man. If any young artist is watching this right now, like if you don't leave here and you just strictly depend on that internet to try to make it, you're not gonna make it, man. Because a lot of the stuff that really take place, you gotta have boots on the ground and be in these folks' faces. You gotta be on the scene. Everything ain't done on a computer. A lot of the shaking and moving that goes on in the industry is done face to face. So you're gonna have to leave. And I used to tell Coop he need to leave, man. To me, Coop is like undiscovered Kanye West. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the most talented producers / rappers that I ever seen. You know what I'm saying? And I used to try to get Coop, like tell Coop every time I run into him, man, you need to leave here, man. Coop would be running Atlanta right now. Literally.
Big facts.
Literally.
And
if Usher did it, you know what I'm saying? Like the thing about Chattanooga is it's a plethora of talent in Chattanooga. Like Chattanooga will be killing the game. Like one of my plans is once I get this Alcor stuff going with the promotion side and get more connections established in the music business with everybody I need to connect with, man, I might just delve back over into the record company side and do Alcor entertainment, on the record side and go back home and get some of these guys and plug them in. You know what I'm saying?
That'll be dope. That'll be dope.
Think about it like this. People don't think about this like this. At one point in time, Tennessee was running the music industry. Chattanooga and Memphis. You had Justin Timberlake from Memphis, and you had Usher from Chattanooga. Those two guys was the top artists in the nation at one time. You know what I'm saying? And then you think about, if you want to go all the way back to the beginning, it was Bessie Smith that set it off for Black music, period. She was the first female to sell 1 million records, and she was the first superstar in Black music from Chattanooga. You know what I'm saying? So Chattanooga, I think Real Tight would have blew up. I don't know what that situation was with Warren G, but man, them boys were cold, man. Them boys was bad, man. We got so much talent, and I look at cities like Baton Rouge. I'm like, Baton Rouge down there in Louisiana, it ain't around no other major city aside from New Orleans. But those boys putting out some stars down there. And I see the same thing with Chattanooga. Chattanooga can do the same thing, man. Like I said, man, Chattanooga is a special place. They just have to figure out how to work together, stop doing all that dusty nigga shit, man, and work together. And I guarantee you, just like they talking about Memphis, because Memphis is the new hotbed right now. You know what I'm saying? All that talent coming out of Memphis. I love Memphis. I love their production. I love everything they doing. But to me, Ain't nobody fucking with Chattanooga, man. I'm watching all these little young guys, and one of my favorite artists, young artists that's doing their thing in Chattanooga. I haven't heard anything from him in a long time, but that guy J Mac, he would have killed the game, man. You know what I'm saying? That young guy, Blue Rolling, Slack Zai, all them guys, man. If they figure out how to work together, man, they gonna fuck the music industry up, man. And I said it.
I'm gonna say this, like Slack Zai, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, Slack Zai is signed to Columbia Records. And he also got his management is 100K management, the same people who manage Lil Durk, if I'm not mistaken, and King Von.
Right.
But I'm gonna say this about Chattanooga artists, and y'all prove me wrong by what I'm saying. Chattanooga artists need to quit being involved in street politics. I'm gonna just use it like that, because before we can start and check this out, the people that we really hear about, they have to be in some beef, or they have to have a reputation. Man, he done hurt somebody, or he done sold 100. He really selling dope, because we got the dusty nigga mentality.
Yeah, that shit don't mix. That shit like gang banging and all that. That's dusty nigga shit, man. Like at the end of the day, what comes from that? Like you go to, okay, you know what I'm saying? You beefing with a nigga or whatever, you know, killed the nigga over one of your little partners or whatever hood beef y'all got going on, and your stupid ass sit in the penitentiary. Niggas ain't putting no money on your book, probably sleeping with your baby mama. Like nothing comes from that. That's dusty nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? These young dudes have to start getting up on getting money and building legacies, man. Because that's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Not that sucker shit, man. We need to go back to the days when everybody was men. We didn't need no gangs. Everybody was men. You beefing with a nigga, go handle your business with him. You know what I'm saying? You got to pull the whole hood in it because you scared to fight, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, we just need to go back to being men. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you saw this on my page. I got this thing I'm doing. That very reason is the reason I'm doing this thing. I got a thing called the lollipop tendencies. And you got a lot of men, or you got a lot of males with lollipop tendencies who still acting like little boys and not tapping into grown man business. And it's like, bruh, if you not handling your responsibility, if you dressing like a little boy, and I say this all the time, you shouldn't come out the house dressed like your old lady. Like, I mean, what we doing, man? Like,
I don't have a problem with that though. Like, cause I'm 46 years old, man. You know what I'm saying?
I'm let me correct myself. I'm not saying you and your old lady got on the same outfit. I ain't talking about if y'all got on the same colors. I'm saying your clothes is just as tight as her clothes. She got her knees and her thighs out. Come on, man. What we doing? That's what I'm talking about. I ain't know.
You know what though? This is my thing. Like, I can agree with it. I could disagree with it, but it ain't on my generation no more. It's on them. So my thing is, I let them do their thing. I ain't criticizing them, man. You know, when we was coming up with the big ass bag of jeans and 3 times large shirts and shit sagging, you know what I'm saying? Our parents from the 70s and the 60s talk shit about us. So now we turning into them. You know what I'm saying? Where like, I'm like, hey, you might have, I might think you got some girl jeans or whatever, but this the thing though. It ain't on me. I'm 46 years old. I can't dictate culture. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck I'm gonna tell a little 15, 16, 17-year-old cat how to dress? You supposed to do it our way. That's just like these young guys making music now. You know, people like, they singing, they talking about this. Dude, that's their generation. Let them do them.
But
you know
okay, let me ask you this with that being said, Cole. I ain't like, okay, with that dusty nigga mentality, it evolves into something worse and worse and worse. Not saying that everything, like, just think about it. Most of these dusty niggas is running around here. They singing, but they got the chopper and it'll blow your brains out.
Well, that come from parenting though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Cause think about it like this. When we were coming up, and I've been saying this for a long time, cause when I went to school, man, I went to college and, you know, did the psychology thing and history thing or whatever, learned about some of that. Didn't graduate, I ain't gonna sit in front. But what I do understand about behavior is that stuff is learned. And think about it like this. Them our kids that we criticizing now. So back in the days, a lot of our people was in the whole note, you know what I'm saying? 2301, we running around club and having a good time. We had our children young. And now everything that we did back in the day is manifesting through our children today. And then instead of us looking at ourselves saying, man, we fucked up somewhere, we want to criticize these kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? These little dudes running around here talking about gang shit, all this old bullshit. Why they talking about that? We had to go wrong somewhere, and then now you got a lot of these young black men running around trying to be men with female energy. And that's why a lot of these dudes are killing. They doing a lot of killing now because they got female energy, but they trying to be men. Where the daddies was at? You know what I'm saying?
And see, really, the lollipop tendency isn't toward, I'm not even gearing that toward because you could teach a young boy.
Right.
I'm gearing that toward the dudes our age. Man, what you running around here looking like them? You supposed to be setting the standard, bro.
You got guys that's my age still condoning this gang shit, talking about they OGs and the big homie and all this shit, but you a big dusty old nigga leading these young niggas into some dusty shit that you was led into. You know what I'm saying? So you can't, that's why I say I don't criticize this new generation. I empathize with them because we dropped the ball, dog. And a lot of people don't want to admit it. We dropped the ball, you know what I'm saying? So if your son running around here liking dudes or he doing some shit that's unapproved, you don't approve of, what did you do to stop it? What did you instill in that kid to make him become a man? You know what I'm saying?
Nothing.
So that's why I don't criticize this new generation. I don't. I love them. They fearless. They think different than us. They analyze stuff better than Generation X. It's just that, you know what I'm saying, Generation X dropped the ball with that Generation 2 when it come to manhood. It did.
And see, that's what the lollipop tendencies is geared toward. I'm gearing it toward the men who are fathers now. Bro, you gotta teach your son how to be a man. So you can't be walking around here with this feminine energy. You gotta tap into something masculine, bro.
Right, because like when we were growing up in Alton Park projects, like a lot of us came from single parent homes with just our mamas. But the difference between then and now is we had OGs in the hood, you know what I'm saying, that'll keep us on track when it comes to manhood. And then we didn't have the video games like that back then. Your mama made you go outside, so you had to go outside. And then we had the boys club and all that. So that manhood, that road to manhood was there. You had, older people in the hood that slap your side of the head. If you ran from a fight, you had people like, hey, you better fight or else, So, you know what I'm saying? We had that. It wasn't a lot of people getting killed. People got killed, but not like now, you know what I'm saying? Because we had to be men and fight. You had to
use these.
Right.
Back when I'm 39. Back when we was coming up, it's like, if you got whooped, your mama or your uncle go, hey, you better go out there and handle that. If he whoop you, ain't no running. Because if you run from him,
you know what? It was like that. I think it was like that in the black community everywhere. Because like I don't know like what was going on in the West Side or nothing like that. But
yeah, I'm from the West Side.
Right. In Alton Park projects, it was like you know, when I look at the movie Friday, I laugh so much because Alton Park had a lot of Debos. It wasn't just no one Debo. So you had to fight. You had to always, you know what I'm saying, just fight. And manhood, one thing I would say, I don't ever brag about coming from the project and poverty, because that ain't nothing to brag about at all, man.
Absolutely.
But one thing about growing up out there that I do appreciate is a lot of the guys, the older guys out there, instilled manhood. Yeah.
Man, before we get out of here, what you want to leave the people with, man? Because you dropped some heavy gems on them on the business side, telling your story, and on the manhood side. What you want to leave the people with?
Man, just keep going. Keep hustling. You know what I'm saying? Them L's don't mean the end. Them L's is just a lesson. Whatever you're trying to do, if you're a young guy out there trying to break into real estate, or you want to get into trucking business, or whatever you're trying to do, man, or you're a female watching the show, trying to get through nursing school, or you're trying to start your own hair business, whatever, man, don't let the L's stop you. The L's is just a lesson along the way to the, you know, the road to success. So just keep going and stay away from the dusty niggas.
Absolutely. Man, this is the Deprogram Show. We had a pleasure speaking with Mr. Alvin Williams, one half of Alcor Entertainment. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Go subscribe to the Deprogram channel. Hey, how can they get in touch with you if they want to tap in with you?
Man, it's Alvin Williams Facebook. Alvin Williams Facebook, or Alcor Entertainment Facebook. That's where I'm at.
Hey, man, y'all tap into him, man. We doing great business as also leading the community. This is the Deprogram Show, and we gone.